think that's it. Anyhow, oh god! Look at
Incredible
incredible double parry, and that might be enough.
Wow.
No, they only one pick on the ship. Very well done.
Are you tired of the same 12 heroes being played in every Eternus game? No more! Alternus Eternus! Top tier games with wonky rules? Now here! Today's challenge?
Alternus Eternus, ladies and gentlemen. We are live with our tournament series where we have a bunch of the top players in the entirety of NA play with incredibly wonky rules. Today's rules: 2 shooters, 2 punchers, 2 skillers, 2 pause lockers. Anyhow, pause lock gives us a little bit of time to explain the actual rules. So, there are a whole bunch of complex rules for this one. So the first thing is, only 2 of the characters are allowed to punch, only 2 of the characters are allowed to shoot, only 2 of the characters are allowed to use skills. Everybody is allowed to unlock skills, it's just that you cannot use them. So for example, if there was a haze in this game, there's no haze in this game, they would be able to unlock fixation, but they could not upgrade it. Everyone is allowed to use items. Only the people who can punch are allowed to parry. That is very, very important. Because there's a whole bunch of stuff in this game that happens only when people punch. For example, using the punch boxes or the sin of sacrifices, mid-boss, bridge buffs, etc., etc. Those are only going to be available to the punchers. Oh, you can already see. We'll start talking a little bit more about the lanes.
I don't mean to interrupt the conversation, but it appears we have a huge mouse on the screen in your stream right now.
You have a huge mouse.
Okay, now it's fixed. So, what do you think about the matchups right now? Currently in our gun lane, we have a
gun lane. So we have Ivy, which is a very surprising thing. If you've been watching the most recent matches in competitive Deadlock, you'll see that some teams have opted to use Ivy as a gun Ivy instead of a roll of raid. Mirage also makes some sense, given that you can unlock Jin's mark, but you cannot use it. He's still a very powerful gun character. He's gonna get siphon bullets. On the other hand, we see Warden, a very, very strong gun, and McGinnis, the most powerful gun in the game in theory. But yeah, McGinnis with gun is gonna be really powerful. I don't know how it's gonna happen without her wall, but we're gonna see. On the skill lane, we see Bebop and Pocket. Both very good skill-based characters, and of course Lash and Kelvin. Kelvin is very special because he allows you to deny everything using his Ice Beam. The skill lane does not have the ability to deny right now, so that's going to become very relevant. The skill lane is going to have to be very, very careful with that Kelvin in the early game. They don't want people to snowball. Anyhow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I wanted to explain the remainder of the rules, because there's a whole bunch of rules, unfortunately, just to make this fair. So the very first thing is nobody's allowed to gank up till 10 minutes. That is to ensure that the skilled people don't just arrive at the punch lane and then cause a lot of havoc. You see this whole punching game. Some people do the the mid-boss Mo game. That's a very funky one to decide who starts or who is Amber or whatever. But yeah. Sorry, what was I saying? What other... Did I forget any rules occurs?
I believe you got all of them.
Yes.
Everybody
is allowed to use
mid lane
items.
Is going to be that mid lane is going to be the most interesting to watch and certainly most entertaining.
Oh yeah, just the constant punching. We didn't talk about the characters. Abrams and Mo, some of the tankiest characters in the game. So same goes with Shiv and Lady Geist. They're not allowed to use their abilities, so no Abrams punching you to a wall, but certainly it's going to be very funky to see how these guys are going to approach it. Has that Mo upgraded his Scorn? It shouldn't matter, but like it's a bit annoying.
Yes.
Yes. We specifically discussed you can't do that. Anyhow, it's fine. It shouldn't matter, right? There's no secret thing that you get from the Scorn, so...
It should not matter for characters other than, like, Mirage, like...
all the passives.
Honestly, I think Mirage is really the only person that it matters on in this match.
Shiv.
Aside from maybe Abrams and shit.
No, Shiv has a bunch. Abrams has a bunch of passives. I think that's it. think that's it. Anyhow, oh god! Look at the
Incredible
incredible double parry, and that might be enough.
Wow.
No, they only one pick on the ship. Very well done. Very, very well done. But yeah, we do see that early power of the Warden gun. It's certainly one of the most powerful guns in the game. And we already see the power of McGinnis and Warden together have pushed Guardian #1 before the 5-minute mark. Ivy is a good gun character, but she just needs so much strength in order for her to be able to push. And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
And her 2 is also what gives her a lot of gun damage. She has a very good gun, yes. But her 2 giving her that extra bullet life steal and fire rate on top of everything is incredible, especially when you get that leveled up.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna see a very early extra stamina from the McGinnis? I mean, like, with no wall, you kind of have to worry about her mobility a lot. Extra stamina would be, like, a great choice here. Alright, let's put this Bebop Blade. Bebop 12 stacks, not fantastic, but not terrible either. At 6 minutes. So...
Yeah, and as expected, the ability lane, in terms of souls, is very Kelvin-sided.
yeah. It's just the ice beam is...
Bebop doesn't even have ult up yet.
We did an ability draft. I suspected Kelvin would be immediately banned. He was not. Viscus and Yamato were the 2 characters banned in the beginning. And Kelvin, immediate first pick. I would rather be facing Viscus punches or Yamato's skill-based abilities than facing the Kelvin Ice Beam. It's just gonna mean you're gonna lose lanes so bad. The difference is only 3k, not like incredibly bad, but still a bit annoying, a bit worrisome. Let's talk about strats here. So this game is gonna be a very unusual game at mid, won't it, Occurs?
Yeah. This game will be interesting, to say the least.
Yes. The only 2 people who are allowed to parry are the people who can punch, as we've been seeing just the incredible exchange of parries there. And that's going to matter a lot for mid.
Another quirk we noticed while getting ready for the game, if someone who is not a puncher picks up Urn, they can't drop it.
Yes.
So the urn in this mode, if you aren't a puncher, is basically like soul bound to you. You have to deliver it or you have to get stunned.
Yes. Which is annoying, right? Because the one thing that you can do while at urn is, you know, punch people. If you have the urn, you can still punch people, right? But you can't do anything. You're just stuck with her. This is certainly going to change the urn dynamics this game. Anyhow, Kelvin uses a second life, the dome is activated, and it saves him from the ice beam. 700 healing from the ice dome. That is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. That Kelvin is going to be healing a lot.
Oh, doesn't surprise me at all. Anyhow, the 8-minute mark is approaching, only 2 minutes left until the lanes are opened up. And I'm very curious to see how they're going to push the punch boxes. So, only 2 characters in each team can use those punch boxes, so they better grab them and grab them quick. But we instead see a massive push at the Guardian, instead of characters trying to grab those center sacrifices. I think that Mo already has Torment Pulse, right? Very key item in lane, gives you that massive spirit resist. Doesn't surprise me.
And that extra damage while near them is going to be very, very powerful. I think one thing you have to consider with how we set up these lanes and how the game's set up, really. Because we have 4 people shooting and 4 people punching, I believe that bullet resist most likely will be bought on everyone.
Yeah, 2 people shooting and 2 people punching. Bullet resist does give you melee resist as well, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Unlike how weapon damage works with melee, 1 bullet resist is 1 melee resist, as opposed to weapon damage is 2 to 1 for weapon damage to melee damage.
This mid lane is just so funny to watch. Yeah.
The mid lane is just entirely mind games.
Yes. With the parries. for the next 30 seconds is going to continue being that. Oh, that's a shame. Like, you cannot reach the Abrams. They're trying to torment pulse him out of position. But, oh!
Wow, and he hits the parry. I think Mo dies. Yeah.
Wow, incredible. Incredible stuff. This is actually a really funky game. So, yeah. So for people who don't know...
Wow.
Yeah, very good parries all around. For people who don't know, if you parry someone, then Curse can confirm this, you get like extra melee damage on them, right?
Yes, as far as I'm aware, whenever you parry someone, they take 35% increased melee damage.
Yeah. So that also works with Guardians too, so you can do a lot of damage. Ideally, you would aim for the Guardian's head and keep punching at the same time. But, oh, big catch on that Bebop. He is going to be inside the dome.
Yeah, and we're seeing a McGinnis gank in mid lane already.
Oh, yes. Yeah, now that the 10-minute mark is passed, there's going to be big ganks. And I think the melee lane is always going to be the most vulnerable one, right? It's just those melee characters are going to struggle against the gun characters who can just kite them infinitely. I hope that extra stamina is already bought by all characters just so they can close the gap more easily. So the gun characters and the skill characters cannot parry. So if you hit them, they have to take it, right?
Yeah, I mean, initiates are going to be parrying more than these people on the ability side and like the weapon side.
Yeah.
Because they can't.
Yeah. No.
I believe this Warden is
pick on that
actually able to
Ivy.
get that Ivy.
Huge pick on that Ivy.
I don't expect Warden to get away from this Mirage, though. I think that's a long shot.
The Warden is being very bold. He's going in.
I think that might have been a misplay, unless the Mirage just...
Yeah, he does have that recharge. Oh my god. The Mirage,
wow,
he might die.
No way he wins this.
No way, what? Oh my god, this is actually very
That was
exciting.
very close.
Very, very close. And the Mirage has to back off and heal. I mean, so does the Warden. Very good trade for the Warden. Look at that Bebop. The Bebop has 4,200 souls. Do you think he's getting Curse or something? Or early Echo Shard? Like, what would you be
Possibly
getting?
an early Echo Shard. But I want to draw attention to the fact that I believe what Amber's doing right now is they're trying to funnel souls into that Warden so they can get up that really high DPS Warden has.
Oh yeah, Warden has incredible DPS. This is one of the big reasons why you cannot feed the Warden. There are always characters that you can feed, like the supports, Moes, whatever, and they're not gonna like terribly change the course of the game. If you feed a Warden, you're just gonna die. Even without the ability, even without the ult. It's just such a powerful character. And yeah, I love the sliding and the using of shift to break boxes. I think that's a very smart strategy. Especially because you can't just like light melee them. And you can't shoot them, so you might as well just rush yourself into them. If you're like faster than 10 meters a second, I want to say you can also slide through them. So that's going to be important.
I believe it's 9 meters for a slide,
9
as
meters?
far as I'm aware.
9 meters. Okay, that makes
I think it's
sense.
9.8 exactly.
9.8?
If I had to guess.
Is that like gravity? I guess it's the same as gravity? Okay, whatever. Well, gravitational acceleration is 9.8, right? Anyhow, Bebop is trying to manage the lane. We do already see Amber has collected a huge amount of souls. Very quickly, very efficiently. So, yeah, no, we're gonna see the loss of the Guardian here, probably.
Wow,
And
and that's all 3 Sapphire Guardians down already.
Yeah, the Sapphire is getting very heavily out macroed. I think the loss of Guardian number 1 into the immediate ganks at 10 minutes just really, really screwed hard with the Sapphire team. Now, how do you push the walkers? That's an interesting question, isn't it?
I think Amber made the best plays here with picking Warden and McGinnis, because those 2 characters are going to be able to bust down those walkers, because no one else on the team really is able to. Like, I mean, I guess you have Kelvin, who in Eternus versus
Warden
Nishi showed
just
that he could
survives. This Warden just survived. He manages to kill the Geist.
Wow.
That was
They
huge.
just can't kill Comrade.
Comrade is unkillable.
Comrade's already at 15,000 on Warden. We're already seeing the funneling they're trying to do going to work.
Yeah, no, it's just a very powerful gun. Comrade, for people who don't know, he's an incredible Infernus player. Not usually the sort of player you would see on Warden, but yeah, very, very powerful character overall. Very powerful hero. Sorry, very powerful player. So this is surprising he's doing that well.
We already see a very, very smart buy from Comrade in escalating resilience. I definitely think that the gun characters will need to abuse escalating resilience, because, like I just said, that bullet damage is going to be incredible. I mean, because you will need all of those armors for it, because that's what? Over half the team dealing bullet damage? I mean...
Yeah. It's just gonna be very, very smart. Have we seen any major items be picked? That's a very interesting question.
We do see a Hunter's Aura on ship.
Hunter's Aura on ship, very, very smart. Just making him a little bit more competitive. But yeah, right now, the Ember hand is just pushing straight to base.
I think their drafting for that early game is a lot better.
Yeah, the Kelvin pick, the Warden pick, the McGinnis pick, very, very core drafts. And yes, stuff like McGinnis, like Bebop and Pocket look like they're powerful, but just the scaling on that early game with Kelvin and that late game with Warden and McGinnis, just so good.
Yeah. And you also have to consider, I mentioned it before.
Wait, did I see the pocket parry, or was that just me?
I was not spectating the pocket at that time.
It's fine, unless it becomes a problem. Yeah, it's always hard because there's like so many rules in order to make something like this work, so everybody has to follow them, and some people just forget that, oh, I'm not gonna parry, and they don't unbind the button. As long as there's no problems, as long as nobody has to pause, as long as nobody has any comments. Anyhow, Mo is grabbing that urn. Contesting urn is just going to be really, really difficult because you lack a bunch of like bursty abilities. I mean, if you had stuff like McGinnis's wall, easily available, contesting urn would be so much easier. So yeah, big parry though on that Abrams. Is that going to be enough to kill him? Yeah, not enough. Abrams just has so much health. But yeah, Abrams is a very good tank. Anyhow, a loss of one walker. Pick on the Guardian, though, very important, getting that first flex slot. And we do already see the Warden has toxic bullets. A very, very smart choice here. What does that Ivy have? Like, I don't know what the Ivy would have at this point in time. Withering Whip. Yeah. Oh my god, he gets another pick! Oh god, the Warden is unstoppable!
What they really need is going to be that offense, because their scaling right now is really bad. Because, I mean, Warden's already at 300 damage. That's nearly double Mirage's DPS.
I mean, Mirage does have the Jin's mark, though, which adds a little bit more DPS in theory. Right?
Well, yeah, but you have to consider that Jin's mark is only going to be tier 1 right now.
Very weak.
Incredibly weak right now.
I mean,
and it most likely will remain weak.
Yeah, I'm very surprised how well Comrade is making this Warden work, even without the ability to press his ults or his traditional tools. Right? He's just... Look, he's getting 3v1 and he's still living through it in a way.
I think you jinxed him. I don't think he gets out again.
No.
Never mind.
Oh, he does get out.
Yeah, you jinxed him. That death is your fault, I think.
It is probably my fault. I mean, it's nice to see balanced, longer games. I think those are more fun than to see games that are like a little bit more one-sided because they're lost at one in draft. Anyhow, how does a puncher attack a walker? You tell me. Puncher attack a lash? You tell me.
I guess just stall until their team gets there. But as I called earlier, we see a frenzy already on Comrade. Comrade was already unkillable, with anti-heal being hard to apply without abilities. on top of having that escalating resilience and that frenzy and that like
He's
base
just gonna be
37%
unkillable with
resist,
anything other than
he's just gonna be
skills.
unkillable. Yeah, he's gonna have like 90 bullet resist by the end of the game. I mean, how are you gonna kill him without that, without spirit damage and without anti-heals?
Yeah, it's just incredible. Yeah, Warden has become the linchpin of the whole strategy. Is Comrade the highest ranked player in the lobby? I don't think so, right? Connor is
I
E6.
I am not sure. I
So I think
know Manuel
Connor,
and Connor are
Moon,
high Eternus right now.
Wick, Moon, Comrade, Manuel, and Connor are all E6s, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if that's a skill difference. Also, the captains get to make their own teams. So I think it was lost. Like I won't say lost yet because it's definitely not lost yet. But I think the draft really went better for Amber than Sapphire.
Yeah.
And yeah, Walker number 3 is going down. The third flex slot is just going to be paramount, and yeah, now a straight up push to the base. Yeah, how do you come back from something like this, right? It's just very
And
difficult.
that's the thing. That's the thing, I think. You don't really come back from this because biggest issues right now are going to be the fact that Kelvin will be able to save almost everyone on his team, and Comrade is just unkillable right now. Those are your main issues from the Sapphire's point of view.
And you're not going to solve either of them. Like, oh
Yeah,
god, the
because-
Warden just goes in the base.
Because you can't really get anti-heals for Connor, so Connor's just going to keep saving. And you can't really get that much res shred to kill that Warden right now, because where are you going to get the souls from?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to call it this early, but I think we're seeing who's going to win right now.
Yeah, I think Amber does have a very definite advantage. Yeah.
And we see the Patron go down for the Sapphire side. The gap between souls has gone up to almost 50,000 at this point. Like, there's just no coming back from this.
Yeah, the
This
beginning
is a
in of
decisive
itself is
Amber.
enough damage to push that Patron, without even talking about Warden or stuff like that. Yeah, and that's what the McGinnis is doing. McGinnis is doing McGinnis things. The Warden finally dies after diving in base and
Actually-
distracting everyone.
Hold on, they might not be able to kill it right now.
Yeah. Wait, that Mo's big head is gonna play against
Yeah.
him. I think it should be in the bag for Amber.
Yeah, because that Mo died really early into the fight, and Pocket doesn't have Affliction, and that's game.
That is game. GG, folks.
So he asked the teams after the game, why do they think they lost? And basically, it was up to the draft. The way that Comrade put it out, they got outdrafted on all 3 categories. So yeah, the draft really matters in these competitive games, especially when there's no meta or no balance, right? So you have to be very careful. Anyhow, thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.